Welcome to the Commercial Real Estate Show. Thanks for joining us today to lead, learn, and laugh. I'm Michael Bull, your host to the world of commercial real estate. Our show today is called LinkedIn Mastery for Business Leaders. My guest joining me in Studio One is Stephen Jones. He's owner of LinkedIn Site, that's S-I-T-E, and they provide social exposure and lead generation for business professionals utilizing LinkedIn. Stephen, thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it, Michael.
Oh, we appreciate it. And, first of all, to put this in perspective, who out there should be understanding and utilizing LinkedIn?
Good question. I would say if you're in business.
If you're in business.
if unless you're a grandmother watching your grandkids at home, you might not necessarily need to be on LinkedIn. But if you're in a business, it could be B2B, B2C, you need to be utilizing LinkedIn.
I mean, it is the business social media site, right?
It totally is, the professional site.
Okay, and in this segment, we're going to talk about the importance of using education to attract your audience. And so how could someone use education in LinkedIn to attract an audience and a following?
You can use it in LinkedIn using blogs. You could use, your education could be blogs, they could be video blogs, articles, white papers, newsletters, PowerPoints, whatever your education is. But it's key because you don't want to be on LinkedIn spamming, selling, buy my product, buy my service. You want to be a resource and you want to be an educator. So using LinkedIn for education is key, and it starts with good education, and that can be blogs and things like that.
Right. Yeah, I think marketing has gone from that old push marketing to more attraction marketing now. So, but I think one of the things I hear from professionals out there is, well, how am I going to create that content? Yeah. You know, so what do you say to that?
That's the tricky part, and that's the most important part. Yeah. Your content needs to be created. The way that we do it is first from the perspective of what does your audience need to know? What do they want to know? If you sell vitamins and supplements and things like that, you know, what do I need to know? What's important to your prospect? And if you don't know, we recommend asking them. You can do a poll, you could do a survey, you could sit down with your prospect and say, you know, why did you hire us as a service for you? What was it that got you? What was it that got your attention? So that's one of the things that we recommend is, you know, using education. If you don't know what to say, you know, start with your prospects, start with your clients and say, you know, what do you need to know? What do you want to know? What's important?
Right. That's a good point because and to do that, you also need to know who your audience is, right? Who they are and where they are geographically and what sort of things, you know, interest them, right?
Sure. Absolutely. And on LinkedIn, you can actually do that in groups. Mm-hmm. So I know we're going to be talking about groups in a minute, but your audience has, for lack of a better word, segregated themselves into different groups, and you need to find those groups and educate them respectively. They want to be, you got to remember, they want to be educated and they want to see you as a resource and not be sold to.
Right. And speaking of sold to, how often should someone post this education material out there?
Good question. We recommend anywhere from 3 to 4 times a month. You know, 3 times a month is every 10 days. If it's a good discussion that you're posting on LinkedIn and it's helpful and resourceful and all that, it'll live for a while. It's not like it'll be there for the hour and be gone, and sometimes they are. But if it's a good discussion, we've had discussions from our clients that have lived on the front page within the first few discussions for a year because people kept commenting and kept liking. So 3 to 4 times a month is found to be more than adequate.
Okay. And if a business leader out there is looking for an easy button for content, might they have some things in their everyday business that they can convert to educational content for LinkedIn? Yep,
absolutely. We could talk an hour on like generating content. I recommend, you know, sometimes if it can come from the owner, that's great. Who inside the company has the best ear to the ground, to the clients and the prospects? Who's a good writer in your company? Is the office manager a great writer or a terrible writer? Is the owner a great writer or a terrible writer? If we've had situations with clients where no one's a good writer. There's good education, so you really need to outsource that, and then we could do things like interview you, like in a situation like we're doing. We've followed a client around for a day and taken notes and things like that, and gotten a ton of information. But I tell you, do an interview, you'll have content for several different pieces. You could take that and turn it into a video. You could turn that into a 5-part series, all sorts of things. So.
Yeah. Can you just have a video crew follow me for
Sure,
a day and just
absolutely.
use that?
A reality show.
That's right. I don't know who would watch that, but well, and you talked about video. So in LinkedIn, you can post video, you can post audio files, everything, right?
Mm-hmm. On your profile?
Yeah.
Yep, you can. Right there on your profile, you can. It was about maybe 3 months ago or so that they added the ability to. You can load a video file, a PDF, a PowerPoint, a Word doc, whatever it is, right there to your profile, which is powerful.
And what are some examples of what some of the companies out there are doing for educational purposes? What's working?
What's working is what's entertaining, what's helpful, what's different and really catches the attention. You know, people love the negative side of things. So what am I doing wrong? What are some mistakes? What are 5 mistakes that I'm making? You know, before you buy a piece of property, what are the 10 things that you're not doing that you should be doing? What were the 12 most common mistakes that you saw in 2012? I mean, you could be really creative, but anything that's got a little bit of a hook, got a little bit of a, you know, this is probably something you didn't know is interesting information.
And the title is important, right? I mean, a lot of this you're
Absolutely.
talking about titles, so you want that title to kind of pull them in and go, well, what's that about?
Yep,
right?
exactly. Because you're competing for space right there in the groups, and we're talking about, you know, posting a discussion in a group. You've got anywhere from dozens to hundreds of other discussions that are being posted at the same time. So you want yours to stand out. It's just like posting an ad in a newspaper from years ago.
Right.
It's all about
It's
the
the
title.
headline.
Yes, it's the headline.
And what about using education that's from other people, that's on other LinkedIn groups or other folks have posted, or even an article that someone's written? You can really post your own comments really on that article, your kind of spin on it, right? And then link to and give credit to that author, right?
Yeah, like if you're creating a education piece, it doesn't necessarily have to be from you. A lot of times when we create an education piece and we put it on our LinkedInsite.com website, it may not necessarily even be from us, but you've got to, you know, do the right things, give the full credit back to where you came from, get permission and all that kind of stuff. But if we've had a lot of people that have come to us using LinkedIn education off of an article that we didn't even write. Someone else wrote it, we put it on our blog, got permission, and then we posted it to 50 different groups on LinkedIn of our target audience. Got a lot of eyeballs on it, got a lot of people to comment and like and click the link, and it wasn't even our article. It was something that somebody else had written.
Right.
It's just repurposing.
And let's say that you're a real estate lawyer and you're trying to provide educational things. What if you feel like that you might become liable for someone reading an article and then doing some business on their own without getting help? Some lawyers, I think, do a great job of posting things in social media, and some I hear are kind of afraid of it.
Yeah, we've had a couple of clients. I have a couple of clients that are in the legal field, and we have them go through their due diligence process to make sure that whatever they allow us to post is kosher on their end. So usually we don't have to be the ones to say, is this okay? Usually they're the ones to say, I'm going to make sure this is okay and this is okay to post.
Okay.
So, but yeah, if you're in the legal field, the healthcare field, the insurance field, there's a lot of particulars of you can't say that, you can't do that. So that just falls in line with go through your normal protocol, and then and then before you post it.
Okay. And the education doesn't have to always be directly related to their customers. It can be sort of related, right?
It can be,
Yeah.
because not everybody wants to hear exactly what your product or service is. People they're interested in the market of your product and service. So anything of your marketplace that's interesting, is good to do. One of the things I recommend is see what's trending on Twitter. Go to Twitter and find out what's trending, and then that gives you some interesting viewpoints to decide what you want to write about, to see what's on trending and what's popular.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I think geographically it's important to know where your audience is that you want to connect with, and think about geographically what's interesting. We'll have more LinkedIn Mastery for Business Leaders. I'm Michael Bull. This is the Commercial Real Estate Show. We'll be right back. The Commercial Real Estate Show is brought to you by Atlanta Office Liquidators, new and used furniture liquidators, France Media, publications and conferences, Florida International University, Real Crowd, and Bull Realty Commercial Brokerage, a great place to do business. For more information on these companies or to access additional podcasts, videos, or blogs, visit commercialrealestateshow.com.